table assignment. So if you go to Schoology, and there's two assignments over there, and one of them is called completed and customized periodic table. So we're going to work on some periodic table stuff. This is going to become a foundation of everything that we do. And so when you click on that assignment, there's a blank one to print. And so if you print that off, it looks like this. So I'm giving everybody a few minutes to get that printed off. If they can. If not, you're going to kind of just recreate it in your notebook. So if you can't print it off, make sure that you have, a blank sheet of paper or a notebook paper that you're able to draw on. Good idea to use pencil too. So, all right. Wow. People are trickling in a little late today. Okay. Here we go. So let's go ahead then and, well, I know somebody said they needed a bit more time. All right. Katie, are you good? You still need another second? Any of you guys need another minute? All right. That's no problem. I'll give you guys another minute. So. If you are unable to print, I will have these. I will have these at the front desk at school. You can go in, and then there's also a backside to that page that you need that for chemistry too. So so you want to have both this page and this page. Super important. So if you are completely unable to print that, I will have copies available for you guys to go in and pick up. And then with those copies, I will also have a set of colored pencils, because it does add a lot to add a little color to it. And who doesn't like to color a little bit? I mean, come on. Everybody likes a little bit of coloring. And it feels like after all the difficult stuff we did in chemistry, a little coloring assignment seems about right now. So, and hopefully most of you guys enjoyed your break, your couple of extra days without chemistry over the weekend. Most of you guys had that. And then some of you guys, I know, really did a great job catching up, and a good job with that. And so we'll keep working on that. If you do get behind or you need help with something, please reach out, and love to help you guys as much as possible. All right, so let's go ahead then and get started on what we've got to do. I think we've got as many folks as we're going to get today. If any of them show up and they're stuck in the waiting room and I don't notice, please let me know. I'm getting better at noticing that, so people don't get stuck there too long. Thank God. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started with this. So I am going to grab a hold of this right here, and I'll show you what it looks like. But I think that what I'll end up doing is I'll end up doing it on just a blank sheet. So many of you guys will probably just have a blank sheet to work on, which is totally fine. Now you're going to need to be able to transcribe that stuff onto this sheet. This sheet right here is going to have a lot of information that you need to have. Okay. Just kind of let me show you here what we're looking for, the finished product. Today, what we should have is a finished product. So this is the sample of what yours should look like. So if you click on that right there, you can open this up. And then this is basically just one that a student turned in last year. And so this is kind of where we're going. This is what we're looking for right here. This is your end product. So you guys can see that you're going to take that blank sheet and you're going to turn it into something that looks a lot like that. Although the actual colors that you use are not important, but where you color is important. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys so that I can, there it is. go over this with you guys. Okay, I'm gonna try one more time. All right, everybody have something to write on, and you guys should have something that looks a lot like this. I only have a pen here, so I'm gonna grab myself a pencil. Okay, so a pencil is a good idea to have to do this with. Make sure there's lead in it. Oh my goodness. And Mr. Newton doesn't have lead in any of his pencils. There we go. All right, here we go. So we got a pencil with lead in it, and let's get rocking and rolling. All right, so the periodic table. So this is a periodic table right here. Now, what it does is we've been talking about elements. Last time, the topic of discussion was how these elements are made, which is totally cool because the elements are made in stars. And most of the elements that are on the periodic table are made in supernova, which is fantastic to think about. We also talked about how like your bodies, you know, are only made really of 4 of these. And then you have a bunch of the other ones in there in small amounts. And you guys have probably heard some of the other ones, you know, like you got calcium and sodium and potassium in your body in pretty decent amounts. But the major portion of your body, like literally 90% of your body, is going to be made up of hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen. Just those 4 little elements right there. And so you can see that hydrogen is number 1. And what does that mean? So the first thing that you guys want to do, and if you have the periodic table, find a place. I like to put it like up here, or, you know, right over here, but I think right up here is a good spot. If you have a periodic table, draw yourself a little box like that, and then you know, let's take beryllium, for example. Let's just do beryllium. So just kind of redraw beryllium in there. You got Be, and then you got 9.012182. All right. If you've got just a blank piece of paper, same thing. Just put that up there, just somewhere up in this this top corner, right up in here, and that should be just fine. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to label just these simple little parts. So you'll notice that on here, you have three parts that we need to be aware of. Now, most of you guys probably know what these 3 parts are. Technically, you should have learned this before you got here, supposedly in middle school, but that's okay if you did not. It's pretty easy stuff. All right, so this number here is called the atomic number. Okay. Now, don't get too excited that that's the number on top, whereas this is the number on bottom, because different periodic tables will flip those. The easiest way to tell if it's the atomic number or not is it's the smaller number, because it's only protons. So protons only. So protons only. So write that on your sheet, protons only. So that's what that is. So the smaller number is protons only. The larger number over here with a decimal is we'll put this, this is the mass. We're going to call this mass. We'll just put mass right here. And what that is it's the protons plus the neutrons. And one of the things is that you'll notice is that it has a decimal, okay? And that's because it's a rounded number. It's an average. So you can have varying numbers of neutrons, and so you cannot have varying numbers of protons. So this tells you how many of these are protons for sure. So 4 of these are protons. Now 5.01 something are neutrons. Now you can't have 0.01 of a neutron, but the idea is that some of them might have 6 neutrons, some of them might have 5. And then when you average them all together, you end up with this number right here. So this is an average. And we'll talk about that more as we go along. So it is not possible to have a piece of a neutron, but these numbers in here are average. Now, if I was telling you that the average of all the berylliums on the Earth is, 9.012, I'd say which one, which do you have more of? The one with 5 neutrons or the one with 6? Clearly, you have more of the one with 5 because 4 plus 5 is 9. And this average falls a lot closer to 9 than it does 10. So one of the things that we learn real quick is that when it comes to elements, they each have a specific number of protons. As soon as I change that number of protons, I change the element. And so that's what that number is right there. It is the number of protons. And then down here is the mass number. Now, it is not important that they have the same number of neutrons. So all of these can have varying number of neutrons, which you see from all of these decimals. There's a few of them who do not have varying numbers of neutrons, like you see right down here. If you look at some of these, like this one, just has 98 in parentheses. I know it's probably hard to tell right here, but that means that it does not have varying number of neutrons. It means there's only one form of it and only one amount of neutrons of that. Okay, and then that's true of some of these bigger ones down here. Now, one of the reasons for that is that these things only appear for like a momentary, brief instant in time and then disappear. And so in reality, they don't really exist that much. All right, now here's a couple super, super important things that we need to add to our periodic table. And go ahead and write this out now. If you are on a blank piece of paper, what I want you guys to do, let's see, somebody asked a question. Okay, yeah, that's no problem. Xander, hopefully you're doing all right there. All right, so if you are just drawing it out, what I want you to do, of course, is draw out the periodic table. So you're going to just take this and then go all the way over here and then go up here. Now this one goes down 1 and then it goes kind of down a little bit like this. And this is all you have to do. And then you're going to go to about right here. Okay. And you're going to go up and then leave yourself a little bump like that. And then draw yourself some lines. So you need a line right there. And hopefully you guys are all, many of you guys hopefully were able to print one off. If you're able to print one off, you can skip what I'm doing now. But really important that you get all these numbers of lines right now. Right here, you need a total of 10. So I'm going to get this a little bit squished together, I guess. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Perfect. There we go. Okay, so got that right here. I need 6 spaces. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I might steal a little bit from this one. Okay, there we go. Now, as far as these lines go, right over here on these guys right here, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we need to make sure that there's 6 spaces here. So got 1, 2, see 1, 2, 3, and then yeah, 4. I only need, see, 1. Oop, these are going to be a little bigger. my My shapes aren't working out as hot as I hoped they would. That's okay. So, so right up here, got this. That's a double right there. Got a single right there, and then these lines here will go all the way across here. There we are. Down here, you're gonna have a box with 14 of them. Woo. Okay, right here. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, that worked out pretty well. Okay, there we go. That's kind of the main thing that you guys need as far as the structure of all this goes. And then you'll be able to take what we do today with this right here and transcribe it onto your thing, okay? Your periodic table once you get it printed off. All right. So so here we go. So right up here, we want to kind of start with labeling this. So right over the top of that, call that 1A. Call this 2A. So if you're working on this, this is what it looks like. I've got 1A, I've got 2A, like that. And then right over here on top of this, you're going to call this B groups. And then right here, you want to write a little note to yourself: valence electrons vary. Hopefully you guys understand that. That means you can have different numbers of valence electrons, and maybe that doesn't make sense to you and you want to write different numbers of valence electrons. So then we're going to end up right over here, and we're going to have 3A, 4A. You guys kind of get the pattern. 5A, 6A, 7A. See, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh no, I ended up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oopsie. I actually made an extra one here. Okay, scratch that guy. This is the one here. So then this is 8A. So I just need 6 total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, 8A. So if you guys were working on this one, we had 3A, 4A, 5A, 6A, 7A, 8A. Okay, right across the top right there. All right. Now, what I need you guys to do is give yourself a note over here. You can say A groups. So A groups. Number. A groups number is amount of valence electrons. Now, I know you don't know what a valence electron is, but that's okay. Or maybe you do. Maybe you know what a number of valence is. So A group is A group's number is the amount of valence electrons. So now that should be easy. So if I look at this group here, 1A, guess how many valence electrons they have? 1. And if I was to look at 2A, guess how many valence electrons they have? 2. And then 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, and 8, 8. So that makes it really, really helpful for figuring out valence electrons. So add yourself a note here on A groups if you're just doing it on your paper right there. And remember what you say right up there is that the number is the number of valence electrons. All right. And so for the B groups, the valence electrons vary. Okay. So what I want you guys to do right now, super, super important, right over here on the side. So on this side, right over here along here, write this, write periods. And then what you'll do is the number of electron shells. Number of, and you'll know what that is later, electron shells. Okay. And so you can kind of do a little arrow, but what we're going to do is we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so that's what these are. These numbers right here are what we call periods, and they are the number of electron shells. So same thing right here. If you're doing that over here, you got the same thing. We got periods and equals number of electron shells. And so same thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So those are our periods, and the periods go this way. The periods are rows, and the groups are our columns. So let's see. Okay, now super, 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 super important. Make sure you guys all get this, okay? In all of these boxes right here in 1A, I want you to draw a +1 and circle it. +1, +1, +1, every single one of those boxes. +1, +1. And then in all the 2A boxes, every single one of them, write +2 and circle it. +2, +2, +2, +2. And so then that goes for this. If you have this one right here, you're doing the same thing. You got +1 all the way down, +2 all the way down in those two columns right there. Okay. Now right underneath here, write this +1, +2, and then +3. We haven't written any +3s in yet. And then you can write type 1 cations. Okay, so super, super helpful for you guys to know that. Now, right over here, right above you wrote B groups. Right here above B groups, okay? B groups, you need to write, these are type 2 cations, okay? So, so make sure that you know that the B groups are going to be your type 2 cations, and then the ones that you put these little circles in, those are going to be your type 1 cations, okay? Now you probably have no idea what any of those things are. That's okay, because when you do learn what they are, once you have this in the periodic table, you'll be able to find them in seconds, and you will feel extremely smart, and that's because you are. We're going to make this periodic table so useful. So remember, the B groups are your type 2 cations, and the ones that you put little numbers in, all of these, you know, your +1, your +2, and your +3, these are your type 1 cations. Okay, so if you're doing this on your own, then that is what you want to write in there. Now, right over here, so you guys are doing this. So right over here, this is super, super important. Right down here, like the second one down from 3A is aluminum. Okay. In aluminum, put a +3. Okay. And then right below it is gallium. Okay. And then gallium also has a +3. Okay. Right over to the left of it is zinc, Zn, and this one is a +2. So these are all type 1 cations. Anywhere you have the circled number, make sure you write these all in, because all year long you're going to be looking at this. Ooh, we got somebody. Oh, there's Anna. Anna, I know you're just joining us. If you can draw this on a notebook paper just as fast as possible, please do that. And then I'm also going to upload this so you can watch it back later. Get out a notebook, paper, and try to write this down as fast as possible. I also have a link to one you can print off. That might be quicker for you in the assignment for today. All right, and so you have zinc, and then right under zinc is cadmium, CD. That's also a +2. And then I have one more for you, and that's silver. Silver, Ag, is +1. Now, that's really important for you guys to notice, because all of these are B groups where the electrons vary, except for these ones we just filled in. Those ones have set charges, and that makes them type 1 cations. So I kind of wrote that weird. I'm going to go type 1 cation. I was trying to make a 1 there. All right. Okay. Now, what you guys are going to do, so at this point right now, you have like the major structure on here that you guys are going to need in order to be successful on this, okay? Now, the only bit you have left is the coloring bit. I'm not going to go through the coloring bit on this right now, because you really want to wait till you get this one right here before you color it, okay? And then just in case you missed those ones right there, aluminum was +3, gallium was +3, zinc was +2, cadmium was +2, and silver was +1. Make sure you write those in, and make sure that they are clear enough for you to read. It's probably hard for you to read this on my my chart that I just wrote right here, but I have a +3, +3, +2, +2, and +1. A little bit easier to read on there, I think. Okay, so there you go. All right, so the rest of this on here is going to be up to you guys, and you guys are going to be able to do this on your own. Give you guys time to do that on your own. Let me show you here what you are going to do next. Okay, so if you guys go to, let me share the screen again. I gotta always restart it for this. Okay. So what your guys' goal is to get your paper to look like this sample paper here. And I showed you that once already. I'll bring it up again. But this is your goal. You want to get your periodic table to look as much like this as possible, okay? As much like this as possible. So now you can see that if you look at this person's paper, everything we just put on here, they put on here. They've got their little +1s all in here, their +2s all in here. They got the +3, +3, +2, +2, +1 over here in these ones. And can you guys not see this, or is it just hard to see? So you can also pull this up on your own and like zoom in if you want to as well. So this is kind of what you're going for on that. And so that's what you want it to look like right there. So I zoomed in a little bit on that. Hopefully, Katie, are you able to see it a little bit better since I
just your Schoology page, yeah.
Okay, let me try this again then. Thank you for telling me that. Okay, can you guys see it now? Okay. This is basically somebody's finished product from last year. And you guys can see all the stuff that we added on there. You can see where they wrote +1 all in here, +2 all in here. And you can see where they wrote +3 in here. And +2, +2, +1 right there. They also put these negatives in here. Let's go ahead and do that. That's a super important thing. So I'm going to add these negatives in here as well. Okay. So here we go. Let me take you guys back to the assignment. So the last thing that you guys need to do is the coloring. So if you look at this right here, this is the coloring guide right here. You're gonna basically make little labels, and you can do these any colors that you want. Hydrogen kind of has its own separate color. What I did with hydrogen is I made it like half this, half yellow, half blue, because hydrogen does both of these. And so that's why hydrogen is in other nonmetals, but it's also an alkali metal as well. But you can also color it the same as the blue ones right here. Either way, it's not that big a deal. This is the coloring guide. And then this is the little key. So you're going to make yourself a little key, and you're going to color all of these parts to match that key right there. And here's all the different pieces. So this gives you a little coloring guide. You can also look at the one that I showed you guys, the one from the student sample, which I have on there as well. You could use either one to color it. Now, in order to color it, of course, you're going to need the printed off one. Like I said, if you're able to print it off on your own, that's going to make it easy. If you are not, you're going to have to swing by the school and grab one, and it will also come with a set of colored pencils so that you can do all that. So that is going to be available for you guys to grab. This assignment won't be due, the actual periodic table won't be due till Friday. Give you guys enough time to swing in there and pick up a printed off version and some colored pencils. Now, if you are like, okay, well, I wasn't able to do that, and right now, you're not able to do that right now, that's fine. What we have right here is a few questions for you guys. So if you click on this right here, the practice problems, it's going to take you to some questions. And so the questions go like this. You're going to need to go show instructions. And so it's going to take you to a page. And that page is also found in the periodic table folder. And then that page has a few little infos on it. Some of the stuff we just talked about in the Zoom class. And some of the stuff is a little bit new. Here's that +1, +2 bit that I told you, as well as the negatives that I'm going to have you guys fill in just a second, metals and nonmetals. So there's a little bit of information, not a ton on here, that we didn't go over in the Zoom, and super easy for you to find. So all of those questions that you guys have, you can use that page to look up, and then hopefully you guys write those notes down as much as you possibly can and have that, because it's nice to have those notes. Although everything that's on that page of the periodic table, you're going to end up having on this thing that we're coloring and doing right now. Okay. So that's about it. If you guys have any questions or you are lost at all, please let me know. One last thing on your periodic tables that you need to add. And so you guys have this right here that you guys all wrote in your notebook. One more thing that you need to add is this. If you go to group 5A right here, there should be a -3 for the first one, -3, and -3. Okay, super, super important. And then in 6A, there should be a -2, a -2, and a -2. And then in 7A, you want to throw -1 in all of them, all the way down. Okay. Now, don't circle those, just put them in there, because negative charges are not going to be type 1 cations. Only the +1, +2, +3 are type 1 cations. And then these right here, you could add a little note if you want. -3, -2, -1 are going to be what we call anions. Okay, they are different. All right, so you can add that little note down there at the bottom if you want. Those are called anions. All right, there you go. You guys have a little bit of labeling. And so when you label, I usually had students write down here, make like little boxes, and you colored it in, and then wrote what it was. Like, let's say it was noble gases, right? Which is this column up here. You would do a certain color, and then you would color that in up there to match the color that you did right here. So like, for example, like let's say you did noble gases, pink, right? So you would do that pink thing right there, and then you would color all those in pink right there. So there you go. And that's kind of the idea with the coloring. Now, if you are doing it on your notebook, the idea is that you're going to put all this information onto this right here so that everybody has a periodic table, and super important that you also have the stuff on the back printed off. So if you can do a double-sided, that's great. If you can't do double-sided, that's also fine. Just you can have in your notebook this back page right here. We're going to end up using that a lot. And